Hey, what's up YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about key bindings. If you've seen any of my other videos, you could see that I was a huge offender of not using key binds. And, they were really, really helpful. So, and I've also found some other key binds instead of just key binding my abilities that are really helpful for tanking and things like that. So, if you'll see, you can kind of see down here, I've keybind my guard to Alt R. R is just a nice key that I use. You can do it whatever. But basically, why Alt is because there's something called, and obviously if you guys know this, then
If you are
sorry.
infected with the Raku
But
plague, please
just
arrange
gonna
for
talk
your
about
immediate incineration.
focus target, set focus target slash swap focus target, and then what's it called? Control F, which is acquire focus target's target. Okay. So, what this does, how this helps you for tanking is you can do this in two ways, right? And it'll help with DPS as well because I'll show you, right? So, say this is like the most helpful on a 4v4. Um, so what I do is in a 4v4, if I see somebody that I know is like really dangerous, got a lot of burst DPS, things like that, I'll set them as my focus target, and I'm just using these people down here because I happen to know he's targeting somebody. So he's targeting this guy, right? So in a 4v4 situation for a guard swap, what I would do is I would set either their most dangerous DPS as my focus target, or or I would set the healer as my focus target. And what I would just do is hit Control F. So sorry about that. It's Alt F. So when you have them targeted, it's Alt F to acquire them as your focus target, and then Control F to acquire their target as your focus target. So, for instance, the most dangerous DPS would be I could follow their focus, or their most dangerous DPS is focus based on, who he's targeting. So I hit Control F, and then I hit Alt R, you know? And then, just keep doing it that way and keep swapping based on his guard. Okay? Or, what I could do is, the same thing, but apply it to my healer, right? Because if the healer's healing, right, somebody, that's the one who's getting targeted. So, if your circular's throwing at an innervate, you might want to say, like, oh, maybe I'll guard that person. So then you do the same thing and guard them. Um, that's pretty much focus target. You can also use it, you can also target somebody on your team and say, hey, my friend Katara, like when we play together, I'm like, hey Katara, I got you focused. I'm gonna back you up. Whoever you're attacking, I attack too. So that way I don't. So that way in TeamSpeak we don't have to call out like, oh, focus target or
Anyone
focus
suspected
fire.
of illegally
We can
traveling from
swap
Tatooine is to be scrutinized
kind
for
of
signs of Raku contamination,
right
and if deemed
away.
appropriate, eliminated.
Um, so that's that. And if you're kind of new to key binding, it does take a little bit to get used to. But I find that, like transitioning, you kind of want to stay away from Alt because you accidentally tab out, and then that sucks. But I actually do use Alt. But I just don't use it for any of my attacking abilities, because like that way I'm not like, oh, like holding down my modifier and then hitting tab. So I used Alt 1 through 5 for my defensive cooldowns. Alt R for the guard, just because of Alt F, Alt R, whatever, Just kind of constantly switching targets, it's already there. Um, and then, so R is a big one that I use, and then F as well. And then I use 1 through 5. So 1 through 5 is basically the smash. I still click force charge. And then shift 1 is crushing blow, shift 2 is retaliation, F is saber throw, shift F is vicious throw, shift 3 is ravage, shift 4 is force choke, and shift 5 is backhand. Sometimes I still click these. You don't really need to keybind everything. I use R for intercede. I keybind R to intercede because that's actually really helpful. Especially since, I basically hit, like I'll basically just like focus target, like, say I want to get back on my healer, or, say I hit, like say a situation where somebody's about to guard, so I'll hit Control F, Alt R, and then R, right? Take my hand off Alt, and then hit R. And then they're guarded, and I'm interceding to them, and intercede gives you 20% off 6 seconds. And then if it's really bad, then I'll throw a threatening scream again. So that's 40% off. That's 40% off of everybody for 6 seconds. Minus what's it called? Plus 50% off my guarded target. Another really helpful tip is the Warzone is creating a Warzone channel. So what you do is you create, you can right click here and create new tab, and then name it whatever you want. So I find in Warzones that a lot of times, like the chat will get like overloaded with like the medals that you're getting and kind of crap like that. So what you do is once you create a new setting, you go to chat settings, and then you just eliminate all the things that you don't want. So that's what I did. I want general because sometimes they speak in general, emote, yell, just because any kind of local chat. I want to hear. Guild and officer chat, no, because that kind of sometimes your guild's cramming up your Warzone chat, and anyone who in my guild will be in my team speak anyway. You can leave it on if you want. Say and whisper, I kind of like, because I like to know when people are. Well, whisper I like because I want to know when people are trying to get a hold of me. All your ops chat and group chat. Sometimes I'm in a group and I'm talking in a group, not with them or whatever. Then ops information. But as far as character login, conversations, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff, system feedback, you don't want. Because again, you get 18 medals and then it's like, and then you miss a call. And I've also, like before my chat used to be like this. So it helps to, so setting up your UI just to like for more usability is really helpful in Warzones. Let's see. What else? I think that's basically it. So the 3 tips for just to improve your game in Warzones, I would say right now, is setting up some keybinds, especially if you're DPS. So yeah, setting up your keybinds, especially if you're DPS. I use keybinds on my Fury Marauder because it's kind of important to get there, like right away. Here, global cooldown, that kind of stuff. It's pretty easy as a tank. You don't really need keybinds. A commenter actually said, set up global keybinds for, or set up keybinds for at least retaliation as well. Just for the fact that like that's off the global cooldown. So, that's a helpful tip. Setting up keybinds on your defensive cooldowns is really helpful as well. Just trying to get to them early. And everyone's had that time where they thought they clicked and, it didn't click.
Please arrange for your immediate incineration.
And then just practice with that focus target. Like, I didn't want to really like guard swap in the middle of like their RP, but you know, just kind of practice that. Um, you know, it's really helpful. Especially just try out the especially if you're DPS, just try out the Alt F to set focus target and then Control F. You'll find you'll find your target focus is a lot easier, and basically two pretty good DPS can take out any one target, I would say. Unless it's like guarded and getting constant heals, but I would assume that you guys are focusing the heals, you know? So, like, just focus targets, that's helpful. I think that's about it. Enjoy your raccoon hunting, and hopefully this helps you guys get a little bit better in war zones, or helps your game. And maybe these are some tips that you didn't know, and or maybe they are, and you guys are just too MLG pro for me. All right, I'll see you guys later. Peace. Oh yeah, and also I'll be recording some Blade and Soul videos. I'm on Yahara, Yehara, I think it is. Catch me there, and I'll also be streaming. I think my Twitch name is my Twitch name is Cronus. So catch me streaming. All right, guys, peace.